Traffic generation strategies, forums. Now forums are a very powerful source of traffic and they've been around for a long time, but they do still work if you do it correctly. Now this is because people are already talking about things related to whatever niche or whatever thing you're into. And all you've got to do is find these conversations and engage with those people. Now it's very important though that you don't go the spammers route. You don't just throw a link in there and move on. And the thing is, most places won't allow that anyway. So what sort of places am I thinking of when I think of forums? Well, it may not be what you're thinking of. It's not the old style stuff we're talking about here. It's things like Reddit. Now all Reddit really is one massive message board system. It's broken into hundreds of different highly targeted sub forums. Now these really drill down into a particular subject matter, so the good thing is that you're probably going to find something that your niche is involved in. It's good that they do this because it's actually quite a bad idea to try and get your post on the main Reddit page, the home page, because the content moves so quickly on there that you're very rarely going to be seen. It gets pushed down just too fast. Now also, people are very sensitive to content that's shared on that front page, so if they think you're trying to spam or just get a click through or whatever, you'll get banned very quickly. So you want to look for what's called a subreddit. Now these are the specialized sub message boards within the Reddit site, and the threads here move much slower, so you're going to get seen much more. Not only that, but they're much more targeted, so they're going to be better for your niche or something related to your niche, and you've got more chance of making the right connections with people that are actually interested. Now don't just jump straight in putting those links. Like I said, you need to build your credibility first. Don't create an account and then jump in straight away and start posting things that link out to your site. Instead, what you want to do is post comments and join in, vote on other people's stuff, look at the things that are being shared and become an actual part of the community. Now after a few days or weeks of doing this, you can start sharing your own content. Now another thing you shouldn't do is use clickbait titles. These are titles that are designed to just get the click through. People hate it. Also, you should make sure you share only truly useful content. There's no point filling the thing up with a lot of absolute nonsense. You have to remember that Reddit is quite well known for being very tough on spam. Pros. If you target the right subreddit, you might be able to reach a lot of influential and important people in your niche that are really interested in what you have to offer. Now if this is the case, then don't be surprised when your content starts getting backlinks from blogs related to your niche, and this all helps. Now the cons of Reddit are that even if your content is not obviously spamming people, people can still complain about it. They are quite sensitive to spam, and sometimes they might pull that trigger a little early. So do yourself a big favour when sharing content, and only share information that has very little obvious ads on the page. You don't want it to look like an advert. This means people will lower their guard and let your content pass through, and it also means they get to know and trust that you're going to give them good content, so they'll look out for your stuff in future. 4chan. Now 4chan is an image board and message board where people share memes and other subjects. And it's quite famous on the internet, or should I say infamous, as the home of edgy content. Now we're talking stuff that some people just won't want to see. Stuff like pornography, politically incorrect posts, you name it. If it's something that someone would find upsetting, chances are you'll find it on 4chan. So if this isn't something you like the idea of being able to see, then please don't go on to this one. But I have to mention it because it does have a very powerful source of traffic if you want to use it. It gets around 20 million visitors regularly. Now the same general rules for Reddit apply for 4chan, although if you were to talk to 4chan about Reddit users, you'll find out they hate them. These two communities are quite similar when it comes to their attitude to spam though. So if you're thinking of sharing something with a lot of adverts on it and hardly any content, just don't. It's not worth it. You'll regret it because not only are they averse to spam, but they're also known as the home of a lot of hoaxes as well as a lot of online activists, and you don't really want to rub them up the wrong way, so consider yourself warned. Now the pros. If you share really valuable content and you focus more on raising awareness, 4chan can be a very powerful tool and a very powerful traffic source. If the content you share raises awareness instead of actively pushing a product, then your content will get traction and it may well bring you a lot of visitors. Now the cons. Although 4chan can deliver quite a bit of traffic, you do have to be especially careful with the content that you share on there. Otherwise your content might get flagged and you might get really abusive users going to your site. So make sure you only post content that really does deliver solid value. Of all the places, 4chan, this is the most important rule. Niche specific forums. Now this is more like the old school forums you might be used to, and these are message boards that are focused on a particular niche. Now to use these particular ones, you have to go on there and post on content that fits with your particular niche. They're already discussing things to do with it, so just join in. Don't just randomly come up with something and then talk about your website. You're gonna get banned. Now again, you need to build credibility before you start doing this. You have to be an active participant in the forum, become part of their community. You could maybe ask a lot of questions and get people answering them for you. You could just like a few things. You could go in and maybe say, oh, that's a great idea on a few posts. Later on, you can build up to answering other people's questions. And then once people get used to you being helpful, then you can start sharing third-party content. You do this because you don't want to have to create all of your content, but you also don't want to use other people's 100% of the time. By testing it with third-party content related to the sort of thing you'll be doing, you can see if anyone reacts in a negative way to it. Now if they don't, you can start sharing some of your own content mixed in with that third-party content. That's the best way to do this on niche-specific forums. Don't just share your content all the time trying to get that link back to your site or get that visit to that affiliate offer. That just won't work. They aren't stupid. You need to actually join in. Now the pros. The great thing about niche-specific forums is you get niche-specific traffic. These are people that are already interested in the thing that you're talking about, so they're more likely to convert. But there are cons as well. It can take quite a bit of time and effort to build up that profile, to build up that credibility for people to actually listen to you. It also takes quite a bit of getting used to because different forums have different personalities and cultures. They even have their own slang and their own way of discussing things. But if you want to put the effort in and you can and you learn these things, then these can be a great source of niche specific traffic.